So my question is about what happens when things go wrong. And actually it's a bit of a negative thing to ask people, but I think that's a really important time when you find out if you've got a good or a bad partner. And when you ask this question, sometimes people can be overly optimistic or idealistic. So it's a good idea to ask about a particular example. So you could say, tell me about a project that went over budget before and how was this resolved?
Potential risk with outsourcing design is that at the end of the project you have a finished design, but you don't have the know-how of the decisions that went into that. And that can make it hard to take back ownership of the product or to transfer it to manufacture. So at Springboard, we place a big emphasis on communication with our clients' teams throughout the project. And also with our partnership with Sana, we're able to close that gap to manufacture. And we have the in-house expertise to make sure that there's no need for a design for manufacture rework at the end of the project.
I would ask, can I meet the team who will be actually working on my project? And is this the only project that they are working on, or are they working on other things as well? If possible, I'd like to be able to meet the project leader during the buying stage. I want to be sure that the consultancy isn't showing me the A team during the sales process, only for my project to be handed over to the B team. Also, I would like the reassurance that the project leader has been involved in the planning of the project, so I don't have to worry that a sales engineer is selling me an infeasible project to push their own sales quota.
So how do we ensure we meet timelines and budgets when we're developing something new? I think fundamentally we wouldn't quote on a project that we weren't confident in being able to deliver, but there's always innovation, there's always something that we haven't tackled before. In those instances, we have an ecosystem that complements that, and also internal processes that ensure that we're delivering. So critically, whenever you're doing something new, it's important to have an outside opinion, and we have a method of peer review and internal assessment that ensures that we're meeting milestones and actually advancing towards the deliverables we agree with our clients. And I think existing within the Cambridge scientific ecosystem means that in those really novel innovations, we have a lot of expertise that we control locally, as well as equipment and facilities. That really helps de-risk some of the more novel technologies that we work on.
Understanding contingencies is a really important thing. Anybody that works in many different fields, especially in research and development, things don't always go to plan. Things don't always play out as you'd expect. So having an idea of how you're going to plan for that and have contingency for that is really, really important. And it can come from a technical side where you want to evaluate risks, look at critical pathways, and find different methods of mitigating that. But then it's also in terms of how you build your team, the expertise you put in there. And that is one of the things that Springboard has a real big advantage with and does really well at. Not only having that repertoire of skills, but also having that kind of a camaraderie where you'll be working on a project and then somebody with a bit of experience on it won't hesitate to come over and say, I've had this idea where you might have some risks around this that you might need to think about. And then there's that real good community where you can work together to kind of find problems and then find solutions to them as well. And that really passes on to the client. So we like to keep them informed in that process, make them as aware as possible so that you can have greatest success as possible.